Gradus ad Parnassum. Take it away. How long have you been working on this one, John? 4 weeks or so. It's good. The biggest thing that we need to do to get this to where it needs to be is we need to make sure that we're not trying to play it too fast, right? Without you looking, what is the first tempo that he gives you? Don't know, huh? Does it say as fast as humanly possible? No, it doesn't say that, right? But I think that's kind of where we are right now, right? I think what we need to take this as is, he basically gives us this sense that it needs to be animated, right? It needs to be full of life, but it doesn't need to go so fast that we're not in control. It doesn't need to go so fast that we don't feel like we can get across everything that he has in it. So what I want you to do is I want you to try this at half the speed you just played. Try it right there. See how that feels. Good. Now what that tells us is that that's very good. You have a good core essence of what's there. The technique isn't bad. It's a little bit shaky in some of these 16th notes, right? Now, he does bring out some things. Down, down, right? And he's also got some tenutos on some lower notes as well. So some things that we need to be able to bring out. Can you try this again? I want to hear more of that, but make it smooth all the way through. Try it. When you have these things that you bring out, I want it to just be light little whispers. I don't want it to be a huge crash, right? Try it with both hands. Ready, That's closer. That's closer to what we're looking for, okay? This is going to be a really loud video. Lots of extra notes. Thanks so much for being patient. So, now when we get to these extra notes, right? We have this nice little duet that's going on with these. We need to make sure that these are very flowing all the way through this, okay? So I think there's a little bit of technical work that you can still have go on here, but there's a lot of musicality that can still be achieved. Just by slowing it down a little bit. Now let's try it again from the beginning. I don't want you to go as slow as we just did, but don't go too fast. Let's try it again from the top. Sorry. So right there, I already lost. I lost what we were listening to. What are we listening to? What are you listening for? So as you go through it, make sure it's always clear to you. That's always clear. Here we go again. Now see that slow felt really slow. It took a while, so we got to a place where like you can hear everything. Yeah. Okay. Now let's continue here at this spot. And what I want is these huge swells up and down. Okay. Let's see if we can get that. How we didn't hear every ba-bum, 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 right? The left hand sort of got swept under the rug, didn't it? It was sort of the right hand, da-dum, da-dum, but we lost the left hand. So try this again, and I want to hear every single note. Every single one's there. Right. Did you hear the left hand note? Closer, but it's not quite, right? When you hear the left hand by itself. Not good, but ba-bum, ba-bum, ba-bum. Yeah, I think we're starting to see that that's maybe not as technically proficient as we thought it was, right? So making sure that try playing this where you lift each finger nice and strong. Kind of. Yeah, nice and strong. Good. Do it again faster, maybe a little less height this time. Dun 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 dun. Even faster. Ready? Same thing again faster. No. Don't lose the clarity. It went away. Da 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 da. Now do it. Bottom, 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 bottom. Da 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 da. Good. And if you feel that tension start to creep in there, and you start to get a little bit like this, right, and everything gets stuck, make sure that it doesn't go. Because that tension is causing everything to sort of jam together. What we want is it's flowing. It's very relaxed. Try it again. That was the right idea. Continue that. Good. Play both hands in there now. Good. Try it without the pedal. Good. That's a little bit more true to where you are. The pedal has a way of either showcasing what we can do or masking it to where we can't hear it, right? We sort of cover everything with a pedal. So, go ahead and switch for me real quick. So sometimes we think, if I put the pedal down there, it's all just going to be beautiful and great. No matter what, it'll be great. So, like at the beginning, right? When really, I was just doing that, right? The pedal is really easy to mask everything. So make sure we don't use this as an excuse to not get the actual notes down, right? It's all going to be in there. Same thing here. Whatever the notes are, you got to have it perfect. Okay? And then we get to this next section, right? Go there. And I want to hear real emphasis coming from this left hand, okay? Now, you took my advice and then some. Go back a little bit. But make sure that it's mostly bouncing. Right? Right? I want to hear everything. That's excellent. Continue. Same thing. Keep going. Now within that we need to create shape. So, try to make that come out of it. No, too much to the start. Good. Then again. Of those places we start to feel things get a little wobbly, a little bit wonky, right? Not quite what we want. So that's a good section to go slowly. Make sure you get every single note in there. And then it's shaped properly. We want to make sure that the balance is like this. It goes like this, not boop, thing just pop in and out, right? Or something goes so far down we don't hear it. Okay, good. Now we get to, it has a recap. Let's skip forward a little bit. Actually, I want to hear this at the bottom of the page. So when this comes in this, right, we want that to grow out of it, not just be sort of like a tuba that came and just bum, 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 bum. You're just like, whoa, it's too much, right? So make sure it comes in there and it doesn't just, cover everything else. Can we start right there? Yeah, so that was a little too much, wasn't it? Because what's our dynamic level? Piano, right? And all of a sudden we went to forte in like 0.6 seconds, right? So try it again, and I want this to all a little bit slower. We're starting to get that fast out of control again, right? A little bit slower, and then hear every note. Here we go. What is this section? What's happening here? Can you describe the mood of it? Does it have a certain quality or character? It's changing, but in what way? Does it sound like it's becoming darker, more magical, more thoughtful? Yeah, magical. I like that word. I think it's a great feeling for what's happening. We have this ya-dun, ya-dun, right? And then we have this thing that comes down. Now, it says diminuendo and slow down. And you did the opposite. You got louder and maybe a little bit faster, right? Until finally you reach the bottom of the pit, right? It has to feel like you just took a nice you took a nice seat, and, after a long day, right? And you sit down on the couch, it feels so good. It has to just feel like, and you got down to the bottom. Not, which is what we got instead, right? So can you not crash and burn when we come down this? Try from here. Yeah. Now, if we slow down all at once, then we have nowhere to go, right? So don't slow down all at once. The ritenuto is not here. So this can still travel, but I need you to get softer as you go. Okay? Here we go. One more time from right there. Good. Now, what happens when we use pedal in a scale? It gets blurry. Good. Now, it also gets colorful. Debussy is all about color. Okay, so using a pedal during a scale may not necessarily be the worst of things, but if we shape it in such a way that all we hear is just, it's not really pleasing to the ear, is it? Right? There are certain times where we want it. Let's switch me again. So if we're going to have this, you might want to consider using a little less pedal, to where maybe you only use half pedal, or you start to let it release after some time. Because after a while, it just becomes a big blur, doesn't it? So we have, right? You start to let it go, and especially when we get here, right, where we're starting to get more clear tones. And then finally get the notes that we want to hear. So don't blur all that together. Give me a little bit more clarity within the color. Okay? One more time from here. That was so beautiful, so expressive. Right? Do you hear that E flat just breaks the texture? What we have to make sure that we do in a section like this is that we keep the sounds very uniform, or that it follows a line. We don't want an instrument to just pop out. Imagine you were in an orchestra and you're playing, let's just say you're the trumpet player, right? And you have this part where you have to go, it has to just be this beautiful tone, and everyone's playing quietly, right? And then, you come in like that. Too much. I remember playing, I used to play percussion. I had to play the gong, and I had no idea how to play a gong. It was my first time. And so I just went like this. And of course, do you know what a gong sounds like? Whoa! Right, it makes this huge sound. So as I hit this, and the conductor literally almost fell off the stand. He was so surprised. You can't do that, right? you have to make sure that you figure out how to make it sound just within the right amount of color that we're trying to create. So we have this, right? Too much, right? Does that make sense? Find that sound that fits right in. It's not too much. Why don't you start here? Wonderful expressivity. Let's continue that. Yeah, let that move forward. All the way to the top. Okay? Right there. This is a little bit more. Good. Now, what's the really interesting thing here? Left hand or right hand? Because it's crossing, and we get these. I know the right hand has the sort of core sound, right? But whenever Debussy throws in an extra little element, again, it's just a splash of color, right? This sort of impressionistic sort of feel for color, knowing that, okay, this landscape looks really beautiful, but what if I put a little red in it? What if I put a little purple, right? And that's what makes it really interesting, right? So don't throw that away because it's just a half note. We want that to go ya, ya, ya. That's beautiful, right? So try that right there at the bottom, and I want to hear those splashes of color come. There you go. Good. Could have made more of that second one, but that's so much better. Do you hear a difference in that? Yes, that's what we're looking for. Okay. I think that's all we have time for. So what I want you to do as you move forward with this is I want you to slow down considerably. Practice with a metronome, but only for one reason, okay? To make sure that you're getting every single note. I'm hearing too much sort of fudging the notes around in some places, right? Because the speed sort of takes us away. We don't quite get enough clarity. And then once you feel like you have it, take the metronome away and make it feel organic again. But don't go too fast, okay? So you get every single thing within your fingertips. Here, not here or here, but right there in the fingertips. So where that feels very secure, okay? And then you need to find these moments where it's expressive and you follow the sound. Wherever it goes, you go. And you never go pop like that, unless it asks you to, right? If it says sudden forte, then that's great. But if it doesn't, you can't really add that in. Debussy's really specific. He gives us every little detail in the music. Okay? Good job. Thanks so much, Truman. I really appreciate it.